Yeah, I think vendor model never allowed the problem to surface, right? So because from vendor's point of view, everything is going well is the only viable option if you want to keep working.
Hmm.
uh, Communicating this to the client, maybe we are not doing it right from the last 3 years or 5 years. It looks completely not reasonable. So as a vendor, my only option is everything is okay, we are doing great. And there was no metric for adoption. There was only metric, okay, this is the terminology, check against the terminology, okay, check the grammar mistakes, okay, everything is okay, we have 100% quality. So the system had no plan what if something goes wrong, how to fix it. It never had.
So, how do you think procurement, like when procurement is dealing with you as a vendor,
Hmm.
how do you think vendor incentives reinforce purist outcomes? So they must have that in their mind if they are going to address that whole being purist in your language. But if it's not addressed at a procurement level, then you have to follow what the rest of the group is following, right?
Yeah. So I think uh, from my point of view, actually, the linguist must have at least once a month meeting with the actual language owner sitting inside the big tech, the language manager. That is the only way to ensure if there is a problem. And again, that person should be able to should be knowledgeable enough to interpret that feedback into a solid actionable thing. For example, I try to communicate this in my experience. I try to communicate this, but my and you have only like a few minutes. I got that meeting after several months of struggle, and I had few minutes, and I couldn't explain anything, and my all of my concerns were rejected. Eventually we went back to the same framework, and we worked for next several years. After that interaction, I realized, okay, I need a proper way of communicating this to the people who are making the decisions. That's how I came up with the linguistic puritanism theory. Okay, there is a pattern, there is a pattern behind the process, and that pattern should have a name, and that should have a definition. That's how maybe I will be able to communicate.
Is the localization industry focusing on their own thing? Because obviously you're giving feedback, and that feedback loop is making its way. I'm assuming you've made those comments to many
Yes.
during your career.
Yeah.
So, do you think the localization industry in general is focusing on their own thing? I think we got our priorities right now. Everybody's rushing toward, being more productive, being cost efficient, reducing cost, implementing technology, and that entire language discussion that initially created the industry. It happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but not at the same frequency as we are talking about the latest in the technology, etc. What
Yes.
do you think? What do you think?
The business world runs on quarterly reports and quarterly
Of course.
goals, right? So this kind of this is a very big change and big long-term investment, right? Fixing the localization in, it's not that big in my experience. Like just changing the most visible parts of the interface, huge impact, huge impact. Like there can be steps to fixing it. And yes, when the people who are sitting in the decision making position, if they listen and if they are convinced, right? So that's why I decided to write, and that's why I decided to come up with the whole theory. Because saying something in and the people who are making decisions, they are very very busy people, extremely busy people, and they have to deal with so much stuff that okay, they are dealing with 100 languages, and out of the 100, 2 or 3 dozen languages of the emerging markets, and they are not providing an immediate revenue as well, right? So there are so many factors, but if they come to understand, they take action, in my experience.